Introducing Zentrix AI-powered trading signals service. Tired of second-guessing your trades? Zentrix AI scans the markets 24/7 with powerful, proven indicators built to give you clarity. You get 200+ signals every day on 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily charts. We cover Forex, crypto, commodities, indices, and stocks, so you're covered no matter what you trade. And the best part, you get all this delivered 3 ways, every day. Web alerts give you fast, clean access right from your dashboard. Telegram delivers real-time entries, confidence levels, sentiment, and trade duration. And email gives you the full breakdown, including 2 profit target levels and deep market analysis. Just hold $5 worth of ZTR. See what you can achieve with powerful AI trading intelligence by Zentrix. Try it now. And join our Telegram channel.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, and of course share it with your trading friends as well. But as always guys, we will take a look at a bunch of markets today. We'll go through some USD pairs to start with. As always, take a look at the DXY, gold, silver, USD majors, of course. Any requests, let me drop it in the chat and we shall discuss and go through it. I also do have a surprise to go through as well in a moment. I'm going to go through the USD pairs first, and then we're going to talk about it. And of course, we can go through a bunch of different markets together. But first things first, we'll take a look at the DXY, which was, well, since we last spoke, hasn't really gone anywhere, but it's been pretty bearish for the past few days, or at least kind of for the week, to be honest. But I'm still looking to buy the market. I'm still waiting for opportunities to find that higher low and potentially take some buys on USD related pairs, or some sells on Euro USD, sells on Pound USD, maybe sells on Aussie dollar as well. Looking for some upside on the DXY. So overall, I am pretty bullish here on the dollar. We've had a lovely bullish leg last week, and the plan very much is looking for the next high low, for the next higher high. I like the leg, really nice momentum, and for the most part, we are becoming quite corrective now, which is what I was talking about yesterday. We had that very aggressive reaction on NFP, which kind of made things a little bit awkward, but since then we have slowed down and become a bit more corrective, which is what your typical pullback does look like. So you can see we're slowing down, becoming a bit more corrective. The chance of us forming that higher low has gone up. I've spoken about this area as an area which maybe we start to see some buys into the market, maybe some higher lows, and possibly a big shift for the buyers. So I'm keeping an eye on this area. I wouldn't say we're quite ready yet for some longs on the DXY, or shorts on Euro, shorts on Pound, which we'll get into in a moment. I wouldn't say we're quite ready yet. So keeping a close eye on USD to see how we develop in this area. Basically just waiting for price to kind of just develop, consolidate, and give us that strong shift to say that, okay, the buyers have entered the market. We're now likely to push up, and that will be my green light to go and short Euro or short Pound USD. But that still very much is the plan as it was coming into the week. Just looking for price to find support, then turn around. And looking at pretty much the exact same situation with Euro in the opposite direction. They're very inversely correlated, so most of the time the analysis is pretty much the same, just going in the opposite direction. But again, a lovely area of consolidation. We spent a few hours there before a really strong drop, and again, the plan coming to the week has basically just been looking to find the continuation of that bearish leg. We had the aggressive reaction on NFP, which made me a bit cautious about jumping into sells straight away, because when you do see such an aggressive pullback, typically the pullbacks are normally quite big. And that's kind of what happened with this move here as well. But again, we've slowed down, become a bit more corrective, looking a bit more like a pullback. Still being a bit skeptical because higher time frames for Euro, I would still say they are just about bullish. Despite the bearish momentum we had last week, I would still say we are in an uptrend. So taking shorts here for Euro, I would deem counter trend. And if things are counter trend, you have to be a bit more cautious, a bit more watchful of the trade, because if momentum does shift against you, yeah, the trend's probably just going to continue. So you want to be looking to, exit that trade and get out of the way. But I like the shorts coming back into a very nice area of confluence. Lovely consolidation there. Really nice shift of momentum. We'll come into the 0.786, I believe, of the Fibonacci. Not quite. It would be nice to see if we can actually test that area, but this is kind of where I'm looking for the short. I can see prices starting to develop quite nicely, starting to consolidate, failing to create highs. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Maybe if we can continue this for a little longer, maybe spike into that area of confluence and see a big reaction afterwards, that could actually develop into a very nice trading signal there. Too short euro dollar, and maybe we see a swing back to lows. I probably would be quite cautious around this area here, since it was acting as support over there on the left. I think that would be an area to smartly book some profits, or maybe reduce risk, trading stops, whatever type of management you see fit. But I'm keeping an eye on shorting euro. Same logic as we're kind of looking at with the DXY, looking for a push higher. But yeah, euro is definitely something I'm keeping an eye to trade. Pound USD, kind of the same boat. Although we did break through the level I was looking to short for at the start of the week. I was looking at a retest of this area, which price did break through off the back of the news yesterday. We had the pound interest rate, and price reacted pretty bullish to that. We saw a lot of strength on the pound, and price did go and clear this resistance level. It hasn't changed my bias. I'm still looking for a lower high. We formed a pretty nice one. Not last week, the week before. Lovely bearish leg since then. I'm simply looking for the next lower high. And technically speaking, we could form a lower high at any point as long as we don't break through that high. If we do that, then that bias goes out the window completely. So we are climbing above resistance here. Like I said, we have lost that confluence, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are bullish. I'm going to keep monitoring price here to see how we do develop, because maybe price is just going to react to an area slightly above it. There's a nice area of supply to our left. Not the most significant, which is why my focus has been on this level, because it's quite significant. It's a big level. But maybe price is going to react to this level. So I'm going to monitor price, see how we do develop. If things look good, I will take shorts. If not, I will stay on the sidelines. And if we keep building up momentum, maybe it's a sign that price is going to be bullish and breakthrough structure there. But I'm still keeping an eye on shorts for pound. We do have somewhat of a trend line running in this vicinity there, so there's a bit of confluence off the back of that. I believe we're in the 0.618 as well, or we might have gone past it already. Yeah, we've gone past it. There's 0.786 just above us. We might tap into that as well. So there's still some confluence here. It's not as a high probability setup as it was before the news yesterday. But I'm still keeping an eye on some shorts here. So just basically watching the candlesticks to see how they print, and that could dictate a nice entry. Maybe, probably not today, maybe sometime early next week. Dollar CAD has been pretty bearish. We did crack through support here, which was not what I wanted to see as a bull. I did say for dollar CAD, I basically want price to stay above this area before I do get into any longs. But we did crack through on Wednesday, I believe. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday we did crack through that level. And that has made things a little bit awkward for the buyers, because this was a really nice level of support, resistance. Then we had a lovely breakout last week or the week before. And the plan was simply just looking for the break and retest, because essentially price was just consolidating here. Then finally we did get a nice breakout there. And the plan was just simply, can we get the retest and can we get the continuation? But no, price did break back inside the level and is actually struggling to break back above. It's actually retesting it as resistance as well. So again, another red flag there for the buyers. If price does respect that level well, we could very much fall. We could very much take a big dive to the downside. I'm going to keep a close eye on the DXY. If that doesn't kick bullish as well, dollar CAD could see a big drop there. So I'm backing away from the bullish bias for dollar CAD unless we do climb back above the level. It's a pretty significant level on the daily chart. It's acted as support and resistance on a few occasions. So breaking below it is actually quite significant. Unless we do recover that level, I'm going to back away from that bullish bias. I really like the bullish leg. Very nice, impulsive, breaking structure. This could still just be a pullback for us to continue higher. That could still be the case, but we do have an obstacle in our way. So that's kind of what decreases the quality of the setup in my eyes. Unless we can do something like this, maybe that could be a nice trade in the next few days. But for now, we could very much sell off. So I'm being patient there with dollar CAD, not looking to jump into anything too soon. Aussie dollar still quite we're still kind of just about respecting the upper end or the lower end of this channel. So as you can see, we've been ascending for quite some time there, and we've been looking very, very corrective. Price did break to the downside really aggressively. Looks like price is now coming back for a retest of this same area. So keeping a close eye on Aussie dollar. The plan is still the same, looking for a lower high, for some more downside, keeping a close eye to see how we react in this area. Of course, simultaneously with the DXY. I'm starting to see price slow down. We're looking quite corrective on the way up, which gives me some hope that, again, this is most likely a pullback for us to continue to the downside. Nothing concrete yet for me to jump into a trade, but I do like the wicks we're starting to form at the highs here, and the fact that we are struggling at this area of supply along with the low of the channel. So there is some nice confluence here, just waiting for price to really give me that green light that, okay, momentum shifted. I'll hop into a trade there, stops above the high and initial targets back at the low here. But I would expect us to go a lot further. I do think we can at least reach some areas around 0.635. So pretty bearish on Aussie dollar, looking for a lower high. I like the way we're pulling back, just again waiting for momentum to really truly shift to the bears, and we get some downside. But I think that the key thing is the DXY. If the DXY starts to see some aggressive bullish momentum, all the shorts and all the other USD pairs will kind of line up really well. New Zealand dollar, not a big fan of this one, to be honest. Yeah, not really interested in trading it. I do think I'm still bullish on the dollar, so I do expect more downside for New Zealand dollar, but it's kind of just a very messy chart. You can kind of just box that off and just call that consolidation. That makes sense to me. It's not trending very well. There was a slight ascending channel here, but not the best one in the world. Same kind of situation with Aussie. Both were giving us an ascending channel. Aussie looked a lot better. I'm kind of just focusing on that pair since they're very, very similar. But a slight ascending channel here as well. We broke below. Looks like, I wouldn't say we've quite broken back inside. It's not kind of a clear-cut close, not like a confident bullish candle breaking above. So I'm kind of still viewing this as a potential retest where price might find resistance and roll over. Same kind of situation as Aussie dollar. I like how corrective we are, starting to see some wicks to the upside. So similar situation, we might start to consolidate before we do get that kind of drop and that green light that price is going to continue lower. So yeah, with New Zealand dollar, do expect more downside for that one as well. Aussie looks a lot better, so I'd rather put my eggs in that basket, but it's another USD pair. If USD is going to be strong, there's a good chance that New Zealand dollar does take a dive as well. Gold's been just sideways, not a lot to report on gold, to be honest. We've got the highs of the range around there, we've got the lows of the range around here, and price has just been fluctuating between the two levels. So gold looks like it's breaking through resistance here. Didn't really see much of a reaction. There was slight bearish moves there, more so in the low time frames, but nothing really sustained. Looks like now we're kind of clearing resistance, and looks like we're probably going to make a move back to the high around 34.40, 34.30 we can call it. And then yeah, we'll see what price does next. Maybe it's time for gold to break out, possibly. If price can see some strong close above this area, I'd probably say on the daily chart, I wouldn't get too excited on a lower time frame. But if we do see a strong close above this on a daily, that would be our kind of like our first successful close, since we got here, to be honest. So that would be a quite significant piece of price action, and that could insinuate a breakout. Or if price gets there, starts to respect it again, could be some very nice shorts right at the top of the range, and possibly another swing to the downside as the range continues. So I can see a world where both those situations happen. We have been consolidating for a while. Maybe a breakout is on the cards, but again, until we get that kind of confirmation, especially on the daily chart, I wouldn't get too excited. So all eyes basically on this 34.40 level to see what we do next, and that will kind of dictate the price action for the next kind of week or two. And as for silver, silver's been looking pretty bullish. I've been looking to try and actually short silver to try and catch a lower high. A lovely bearish leg here. The plan was, can we find a pullback for another continuation back into lows and maybe support down there? I was talking a lot about this consolidation, but we are seeing a bit of a reaction. There's a bit of wicks there, but I'm not quite convinced. The reason I'm not quite convinced is because of how aggressive this pullback has been. It's almost like a big V-shaped pattern, which again more leans towards more upside. So that's why I'm not so keen on shorting silver as I was at the start of the week, because we have been quite aggressive. I'm seeing kind of a V-shaped pattern here, not the most aggressive one you'll ever see, but it does resemble the pattern. Strong impulse down, fairly strong move back up. I can see a world where we have a bit of a correction and then continue higher. After all, the trend is still very bullish. Long term, I'm still very much looking to buy silver. I was kind of hoping for a deeper correction into this area, but I'm not too sure if we will actually see that happen anymore. So yeah, silver's looking pretty bullish. I think at this point in time, if we can continue this bullish structure, especially in the lower time frames, there might be some nice intraday pullbacks to eye out. Especially if you can see another bullish leg break through resistance here, and then get a nice pullback, retest, and then some continuations on like an intraday chart back to highs. So I would suggest that's probably the best play there for silver. And at this point, with USD still kind of looking a bit weak, if that does continue, that should help silver probably chug along to the upside. So intraday pullbacks, just trying to find the higher lows. And of course, gold looking fairly bullish. Looks like that's probably going to make a move back into the 34.40 area. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the USD markets for now. Now, before I do go through some requests, I do have something to show you guys, a platform which under Zenthrix AI we've been working on for the past few months now, and it's something I'm very excited to show you guys, and we'll be talking a lot more about the platform as time goes on. But we are launching a new perps trading platform, which will allow you to trade straight away from your crypto wallets, any Solana or Ethereum wallet. You can plug straight in and begin trading. Let me actually remove my camera so you can see it better. the to the screen. Is the sound working, or is there no sound? Oh my days. How is there no sound? It says I'm connected to my speaker. Is my speaker on? Yes, it is. Can you hear me? Oh, it's because I took off the the picture so you couldn't see me. So that actually removes my mic as well. Well, you learned something new. Well, basically, I'll give a quick summary because I don't want to go for it again and take more of your time. But it's a new platform work. I'll probably do it again a little bit later in the stream actually, because yeah, that is a bit annoying. But we'll go for it later in the stream. I'll do it kind of halfway. Because yeah, let's get back to analysis. But I do apologize. Didn't realize that removing my screen actually removes my mic as well. That is not good design. Anyway, let's go through some pairs. We can chat more about that in a bit. Where was I? Are you preparing for NFP? Are you talking about the next NFP, or because we just had NFP last Friday? I'm not preparing for the next one just yet. We've still got some time to wait. Yeah, I don't agree. Yeah, gold's not looking great. I have not been looking to trade gold for some time. US 30, we'll go through that as well. No problem. Pound Aussie, long from current price. Yes, I do like the longs in pound Aussie as well. I'm currently trading that too. We can go through that. I've actually got a couple positions on at the moment. What's up, FX Bash? You just finished my stream. London was pants today. Yeah, I mean, momentum's kind of slow. I mean, I don't trade the lower time frames, but judging on the 4-hour chart, there hasn't been a lot of movement. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of chat saying I can't hear you. That did not go well. Oh well, we can try again. Okay, so I'll go through US 30. We'll take a look at gold quickly on the lower time frames. What's up, Yusuf? Good morning. Hope you're well. Welcome to the chat again. Any requests? Any pairs you want me to take a look at? Let me know. Stick it in the chat. We can discuss. If there's any particular time frames as well, let me know and we can take a look. But since I am on gold, we'll quickly go through this one and we'll keep it quick because the price action I think is not looking too great. There's a clear uptrend here on the lower time frames, but again, when things are in the middle of like a range, I don't try to do too much analysis, because my kind of thinking is when we're in the middle of the range, that's where the most fluctuation happens. So I don't really like following trends or following momentum, because most of the time it can be quite it can be quite manipulative. Not that price is doing that on purpose, but it's just how the market moves. It's very chaotic, not really much consistency to it. So the best places to get involved in a range, as I always stand, is going to be right at the highs or right at the lows. Always the best places to get involved. Essentially, you want to be looking to sell the highest or buy the lowest, or wait for the breakouts and the momentum that follows that. But right now, gold is looking pretty bullish, so I can understand maybe some intraday opportunities, trying to find some pullbacks here. It does make sense, especially if you're just looking for a quick trade for potentially a session, a few hours, a couple of hours. You can probably get away with that. I wouldn't look for any kind of sustained swing in these areas because of how corrective the market is. But if you're looking for a bigger trade, like on a 4-hour chart or even higher, my focus would just be on the highs and the lows, seeing what price does at this area, and then that will make my judgment as to what we're likely going to do next, whether we're going to come back into resistance, respect it well, and come back down, or potentially get a breakout. I would suggest, like I mentioned earlier, wait for the daily to kind of insinuate the breakout. So I wouldn't wait for like a 4-hour or like an hourly candle to close above the level to say that, oh, we've broken out. That can be quite deceiving. If we can see a strong daily close, which we haven't actually managed to do yet, you can see resistance is holding very well. If we can get a strong daily candle closure above that, well, that's the first successful daily closure above this level since we got here, that probably does insinuate a breakout, as long as, of course, we don't close back below in the following candles. So that's something to keep an eye on. Wait for the daily to really confirm that before getting excited with a breakout. But for now, momentum looks pretty bullish. We probably will make our way back to resistance, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm not so concerned about the intraday price action for gold because conditions aren't great. I'd rather us be trending, and then I can focus a bit more on the price action. As for US30, the price action is quite interesting with this one. I must say the price action is quite interesting because we've had the really aggressive fall from last week. We had some momentum at the start of this week. I was kind of hoping to see us retest this area for a buy. I still think this is a really nice level for a buy for US30. Solid resistance, a really healthy breakout. I think that would be a nice place for a buy. But yeah, we're not quite there yet. So if you're looking for a swing trade, that's kind of where I'll just focus. Maybe kind of leave price action here around. You got a clear-cut level there to eye up. I'd wait to see if price can get there, monitor how we're reacting, and then base some swing opportunities from that level. In terms of the more intraday price action, I wouldn't say we've got the best conditions for US30. You can probably kind of just say that this is just a big consolidation, really. And I would actually agree with you, to be honest. We've got key support once price broke through, recovered, retested again, and so far is being respected. So this is an area which potentially we might see some upside. We had a pretty aggressive drop there intraday yesterday, but looks like price is starting to find support here. So going forward with US30, I still quite like the buys at this level here, but I would keep it short and sweet. I wouldn't look for any sustained move for US30 until we get here. This is where I would be happy to look for like a big swing and really try and push the trade. Anything here, I would just keep it short and sweet because number one, we're not really seeing much momentum with US30. I wouldn't say market's trending very well. So when things are a bit more choppy, I tend to try and be in and out of the market a little bit quicker. When I know there's a confident trend at play, then I try to stay as much as possible, really. But in this condition, I think things are quite choppy, so I will be quite careful there with US30. So I like the buys off this level, especially if you can come back for a retest, maybe a nice double bottom. Could actually end up being a nice buy. I like the wicks here. If you could repeat that, I think that could be a nice trade, potentially for like an afternoon or for a day. And then maybe as we approach this kind of area, can start to look to lock off some profits or trail some stops from that area. There is a potential that we could see a lot more upside, but I wouldn't necessarily bank on that given the conditions of the market. So yeah, US30, I can probably just kind of box that off and call it consolidation, really. So I wouldn't get too wrapped up into the price action. Again, just looking to try and pick significant areas to buy and sell from. I like this level here. It gave us a very strong reaction not too long ago. Didn't really provide much support there, but I kind of like that because it kind of faked lower. Now we're back above. If we can come back down, show more respect to that level, wicks, bullish engulfing candles, I think that could be a smart place for a buy. So that's kind of my take on US30. Not the biggest fan of the price action, I must admit. But actually, M1 is tricky because the move up down, but stuck in a range. Okay, sat there watching the 1 minute too. Wow, that is intense. Yeah, I mean, it's been some time since I've traded the 1 minute. I've never actually traded the 1 minute on a seriously. I've traded it for a bit of fun, but I've never actually traded the 1 minute in terms of my strategy is going to be around the 1 minute time frame. So kudos to you, Bashi, because that is really fast and furious, and yeah, it does take a lot of patience and a lot of confidence as well, because in the 1 minute chart, your setups will come quick and they'll be over quick as well, at least relative to the time frames I trade. So you have to be quite confident with your analysis, and when it's there, you're there to strike, and quite confident with your decision making, because of course you'll get more opportunities, more signals, and you want to be focusing quality over quantity, and it's very easy to overtrade and just take a lot of trades not worth your time. So sitting on your hands for 3 hours, I think, is actually quite a testament to your patience, because a lot of people, especially looking at the 1 minute chart, will somehow force a trade in that unnecessarily. Yusuf, thoughts on Euro and GU? Okay, we'll take a look at that as well, no problem. Roman, UK 100, yeah, we'll take a look. Dan, oil, sure thing. Raphael, pound Aussie long from current price at the 4 hour time frame. Okay, I'll go through pound Aussie as well. I do have I know I have a position on that, so we can go through that as well. Anyway, I'll go through Euro and pound first on the 15, UK 100 and oil. So with Euro USD, yeah, so as I spoke about this one previously, I'm pretty short bias in Euro, looking for us to kind of consolidate here. Lovely momentum to the downside, and I'm looking for us to retest that before a continuation. We had a really aggressive NFP, and that kind of set the tone for the pullback, having a pretty aggressive pullback, and that's giving us almost a test of this area. I would like to see if we can push a little bit higher just to actually test that level. We kind of missed it by a few pips there, annoyingly. But yeah, Euro, I'm getting ready for some shorts. That's more on like the 4 hour chart. If I drop to the 15, I probably wouldn't be looking for shorts just yet. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be looking for shorts just yet. I actually still quite like the idea of a retest of this area. Prior resistance, lovely breakout, no real significant retest of that zone. I would suggest if we can work our way towards that area, especially if we can do it nice and correctively, I think that's a nice place for a buy actually for the 15. It might not give us a massive swing back to highs, it could do, but I would suggest we got a good chance of catching at least a reaction at this area. So from a 50-minute perspective, what I'm seeing is a pretty healthy bullish trend. I wouldn't be so concerned with this massive drop here, especially on the 15. That's something I'd probably look more so on the higher time frames. If we kind of completely shift, let's say if we get a bounce here, then we see another lower high and the market starts to develop a nice bearish trend, then sure, I'll start speaking more about the bearish opportunities, pullbacks, looking to follow that to the downside, maybe a retest of some support somewhere. I'll probably discuss that maybe sometime next week if that does develop. But as of right now, just focusing on the recent structure on the 15, this looks like a really nice level for a buy. I like the fact that we had this first initial bearish move, which means a lot of buyers would be having stops around here. So we can go and take them, go retest a pretty significant bit of structure here. And I think from there, if you can see some healthy rejection, there's a good chance for a bounce and a push higher. Like I said, I wouldn't bank on a move all the way back to highs. I'll probably have some other intermediate targets along the way, but there is a possibility we do see something like that for Euro USD on the 15. So pretty bullish bias. Keep an eye on 1.159 or 1.16, we can call it roughly. I think that's still a decent place for a buy. And yeah, I wouldn't be focusing on the sells just yet. As for pound USD, sort of the same situation. Let me just move this out of the way. We are still pretty bullish on the 15, attacking the highs pretty well. I would argue even more bullish here for pound USD than on the 15. Of course, we're still aware that this bearish leg, could continue at any point. Really, I'm still viewing this as a pullback for us to eventually turn around. But if you're looking to short the pair, especially on the 15, I'd at least wait for some evidence that the 15 is shifting bearish. So if we can start to see maybe a consolidation, price breaks lower, or price starts to form some lower highs and lower lows, and then we take some pullbacks. So that's what I would wait before looking to short on the 15. I wouldn't try to call the tops here because price could always go a little bit higher, take my stop, and then reverse. Very, very difficult to try and call the stop, especially in such an intraday time frame for such a big bearish leg. Hence why I'm looking to kind of trade it on the 4 hour chart. So if you're looking to short, wait for things to shift, which they haven't done yet. At the moment, things are still pretty bullish, and I think you probably still find some nice buying opportunities along the way. We've got some equal highs here. I would suggest a strong break of that could provide a nice retest for another continuation. I wouldn't look for such a big swing. We're not really in that type of climate right now. We're not really seeing big swings here for pound. They're quite small. So if price does break the high well, I think a quick break and retest back to highs, start looking to lock in some gains. Euro, on the other hand, you can probably find a bigger swing because we're naturally seeing bigger swings in these conditions, and you've got bigger levels to look for a retest. So this could potentially give you a bigger buy. Pound USD is kind of more of an aggressive trend. So you're just looking to kind of buy high and sell high sort of situation. There's a lot of momentum in the market and you're trying to grab a small piece of the pie really. So that's kind of how I'd look at pound USD. An aggressive trend, if that aggressive trend still shows signs of continuation, aka breaking the high well, that should provide a nice opportunity for a retest. We're still putting in these higher lows. The goal would be, can we find the next one? And like I said, if you're looking for some shorts, I would wait for that trend to show signs of shifting bearish, which of course we haven't got quite yet. So I wouldn't be looking to sell just yet. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for Euro and Pound. We'll go through UK 100 and then oil next as well. And then Pound Aussie as well. I'll go through Aussie CHF too. Yeah, exactly. Next level patience, discipline, seriously strong level of psychology. I agree. To make decisions very fast. Actually, I take a abnormal approach to trading, a study of psychology. Okay. Yeah, okay, so you're focusing more a lot on the psychology side. I would argue the lower the time frame, the more kind of psychology and the kind of the emotional part of trading comes into play. Of course, that is true throughout all types of trading because there's money at stake, emotion at stake 100%, but everything is a little bit more kind of intensified, especially on the 1 minute chart. So you definitely have to be on top of your game in that department 100%. That's why I'm so confident in live streaming 1 minute and stuff. I appreciate your words. No problem, man. I mean, kudos to you because yeah, 1 minute is hardcore stuff. It's hardcore stuff. So I definitely do applaud that because I would argue that trading is actually quite not easy. It's easier on the higher time frames compared to the lower time frames. But of course, the advantage of the lower time frames is, you know, you get your profits quicker, you take your losses quicker, everything comes quicker, you get more opportunities. If you really know what you're looking for, you can really focus on quality over quantity. Sometimes it's a little bit harder in swing trading because, you know, sometimes you have to wait a while and the next opportunity might not even be a good one as well. So there's pros and cons on both sides of the coin. I think it's preference as well. Some people just have that kind of natural attraction to the lower time frames. Some people it's the complete opposite, and of course everyone's got different circumstances as well. Maybe some people are in full-time employment or a student, so it's difficult to learn on the lower time frames. So each their own, but yeah, definitely kudos to you, Bashi. Aussie yen Forex. Okay, we'll add that to the list as well. Let's go for UK 100. It's been a minute since I've looked at this one. I'm not gonna lie. I've been looking at a lot of the US indices, the DAX. Haven't paid too much attention to the FTSE, I must say. But hey, it's looking very, very bullish. I think the last time I looked at this one was somewhere around here. So yeah, back in June, roughly end of June, start of July, and we've been very bullish since then. Although we are starting to consolidate, so it looks like momentum is in a bit of a pause right now. This is the daily chart, lovely bullish leg, and now we're starting to pause. Could this be a potential top for UK 100? I don't mean as in top, as in we're never going to go higher, but could it be an area where we do start to see potentially a pullback from, and then maybe we do continue later on? I think so, especially taking into consideration that this was our last major high in the market, and then we've gone and smashed straight through that. I do think now that we are putting that top, we could potentially have a bit of a pullback, especially if we can see a strong break to the downside like so. Maybe a strong bearish candle breaking out. I think that's the green light for some selling opportunities, and then we can get some pullbacks and ride that on the way down. But of course, not getting too carried away, because I would probably suggest that this is a smart level to actually start looking to take some buys again in some long-term plays. So UK 100, I would say we're kind of just 50-50 at this moment in time, because equally we could break to the highs and the trend could still continue. If that's the case, you're still just looking for pullbacks and riding the wave. If we do break to the downside, then I would look at that as like a temporary top for UK 100, and from there I would argue some shorts look really good. So yeah, kind of just waiting for us to get the green light in terms of which way we're going to break out. Like I said, to the upside, trend continuation, pullbacks, trying to find higher lows would be the play. And if you break to the downside, complete opposite, looking for some pullbacks and some more shorts. Since maybe some other indices are looking like they're potentially forming some tops as well, maybe UK 100 decides to do that as well, but let's just wait for the breakout and then we can start talking about the shorts. But as of right now, I probably wouldn't do anything with UK 100. I would just wait for us to get the green light for the breakout, and then I think there could be some really nice opportunities shortly afterwards. But right now it's kind of 50-50. In terms of oil, so oil last time I looked, we're kind of still trading at support. We're holding on to that level for dear life right now. Yeah, it's not looking particularly great here. Oil's been at a very significant level of support, and it's kind of teasing the idea of potentially breaking out of that. So you can see massive support once, twice, a third time over there as well. And this potentially would be our fourth, at least as support. We did respect it briefly as resistance as well. So I'm bullish on oil. As long as price can hold this area, I do think we can turn around and see a lot of upside. There's a bit of a trend line. If I connect the highs here, I do think we can see potentially another swing towards that area. If that level doesn't hold and we do break to the downside, then yeah, I would expect us to just come right back to lows and maybe further as well. So we're in that kind of 50-50 area. Does price hold? Does price not hold? We'll probably find that out in the next couple of weeks or so. I would say this is a really nice place for a buy though, because number one, we're right at the lows. We're right at the lows of this kind of 4-hour daily range here. So you're buying right at the low. So you can get the best kind of available stop loss. And if it does play out, you probably have the best possibility for a big risk to reward, because you're right at the lows here. You got a stop loss right at the low there. You're well protected. If the market does go and take the stop, it probably is breaking out to the downside anyway. So I like where we are in terms of buying opportunities. I would kind of wait for momentum to really pick up. I think we are still looking quite corrective right now. I know we're about to get a bullish close here in about 11 minutes time, but not enough for me to get too excited about. I think if momentum can pick up and see a strong close outside of this kind of descending channel, that could be a nice entry there on the 4-hour chart. Stops below the low, then hopefully we can ride that back to resistance, and then we'll go from there. Maybe price comes back down, maybe we break out. I think that could look like a healthy target and still provide a decent risk to reward, and you can get a nice stop loss below the low. So I like the buys here. We're still just about hanging on to support. As long as we can see momentum come through, I think that's a solid place for a buy. If we do break to the downside here, then I would scrap the buy idea and actually start looking for some selling opportunities. A breaking retest would be fantastic. And then, yeah, a continuation all the way back down to these lows would be my best guess. Of course, there are some other targets you can look at along the way. So, yeah, oil in a make or break kind of area. Right now, still kind of seeing buyers just about hold support there. I would wait for some more momentum before really kind of looking for entries. But I like where we're trading, and hopefully we can see some bullish momentum kick in. If not, I think sales look equally as good as well. So, it's not the end of the world. But that's kind of where I'm at with oil. Okay, so next we'll take a look at pound Aussie and Aussie CHF, two positions which I took yesterday. We can go through that, and I'll go through Aussie Yen for Ferrogams as well. No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out, helps grow the channel. So I do really appreciate it. Share it with your friends as well, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And he was like, "You're a madman." That's funny. Yeah, I mean, typically people on the 1 minute chart, I can say they are kind of mad in general, to be honest. Yeah, that's one of the downside of higher time frame trading, is that you could spend a few days in a trade just to walk away with a break even or a stop loss as well. So that's 100%. Again, as we mentioned, there's always pros and cons for literally everything. Time frames you trade, the strategy you trade, the methodology you use, how you manage your trades. everything has pros, everything has cons. Trading stops has pros and cons. Having finite targets has pros and cons. Even using stop losses have pros and cons as well. Some people don't like using stop losses because you can get wicked out of the trade and see price go in your favor. They'd rather just exit the trade manually. But then, of course, things can happen, and that could really damage your account, especially if you're not disciplined as well. So there's literally always a pro, there's always a con to kind of whatever you do. And you kind of just try and maximize everything. You try and maximize the pros, minimize the cons, but at the end of the day, you always got to kind of acknowledge the cons and get on with it, because it's all part of trading as well. But yeah, it's down to personal preference what someone does prefer. No problem, Roman. Happy to help. Okay, so let me go through pound Aussie. So I did hop into a trade with this one. Not yesterday. Sorry, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Wow, my memory's going to pot. I thought it was the day. No, I hopped into a trade yesterday on pound Aussie. I've been actually pretty bearish in pound Aussie. Been looking for some shorts, but we never got the breakout, so there was no opportunity to short it. I was actually short over here. I got stopped at break even over here, annoyingly, and just missed out on the rest of that move. So that was quite annoying. But long term, I am pretty short biased. So the idea of this trade is I'm looking to see if I can trade it back into resistance to then again sell it later on. The plan coming into the week was just looking to see what price does at this low. If we did break through well, I would be looking for some pullbacks for a retest and then looking for a short. But that never happened. We got a lot of consolidation for the past couple of weeks, really. And then finally, we did see a really kind of commanding break to the upside. And that was kind of my green light to say, okay, price isn't probably going to break support anymore. We're probably going to respect this and take and continue higher. So I did take the trade on the breakout and put stops below the low. Looks like there's some nice kind of intraday break and retest opportunities. I think maybe we can drop to like an hourly, actually not even hourly, maybe like a 15-minute chart. There might be some nice break and retest opportunities there. But on the 4-hour chart, slightly wider stop loss. Risk reward's not immaculate. It's 1 to 0.53. But my thinking is I'm kind of looking to play the long game, because longer term, I do think price is potentially going to form a top to this bullish trend soon and start to trend lower. So if I can take advantage of some buys to take advantage of some sells, kind of hoping to take advantage of both sides of the coin here. So I'm not too concerned with the risk rewards on the way up, because I do think the bigger moves on the way down. If I can get a nice short, that could be the real move that I'm after. But yeah, the plan was looking to really see what price does at support here. We've had multiple attempts to try and break through, and essentially we just haven't broken through. And we spent quite a lot of days here, which I quite like actually, because it shows that the sellers have been trying to push lower, but the buyers have been too stubborn. And then since we had the news yesterday for pound, which pound reacted bullish to, is kind of the catalyst we need to say that, okay, support's holding, we're likely to push lower. At this point, I think it's going to be very difficult for the sellers to push lower here. So hence why the buys make a lot of sense. And so I do think we can push to the upside. So simply just buying the low of the range to get a push back to the high. Like I said, if you can drop to low time frames, like a 50-minute chart, you might find a nice break and retest opportunity in this kind of area. If I can actually drop to the 15. So yeah, something like that could be a nice entry. At least trade it back to highs as well. You don't have to be looking for a massive move all the way back to 4-hour resistance, but something like this does make some sense, especially an entry on that bullish candle there. But if it were to come back down again, there might be some more entries later on, and maybe just target back in that high. That makes some sense too. But yeah, from a 4-hour perspective, I do think a bit more upside is on the table, and hopefully we can carry this trade back to high. So I am long pound Aussie there. Going to see how that position gets going. And I'm also short on Aussie CHF, which I took yesterday as well. Yesterday as well. I took this one yesterday as well. Again, more of like a bigger swing trade with this one. I would argue that this is a bit more longer term. But I quite like what I'm looking at here for Aussie CHF, because it's a pair that's coming from all-time lows. And it's a pair that typically, after creating all-time lows, does normally have a pretty big correction afterwards. You can see each one of these aggressive moves lower, the price does revert to the upside pretty quickly afterwards. And I'm looking for the exact same pattern to repeat again. We've been very, very corrective on the way down, which is kind of giving me confidence to say that, okay, there's not a lot of strength in this move, so it's most likely going to be a pullback for us to continue higher. If this really did mean business and really did want to continue back to lows and so on and so forth, I would expect more aggressive momentum. I'll expect to see more kind of commanding moves to the downside. Not really seeing that. And the fact that we formed this kind of bottom here, spent quite a few days there moving sideways. We've broken through that counter trend line, and now it looks like momentum's starting to pick up well. I think this could be a very nice buy that hopefully we catch the low and hopefully we see the next bullish run. And I'm looking at a push back into this area, which is where we had a really big shift in momentum and a really big drop to the downside. So I do think naturally price can drift towards that area and go back and retest that. And that would be my target for the trade. But there's a long way to go between the entry and the targets. I will be trading stops. My kind of first plan of action would be if I can start trading my stops from here to potentially start trailing it to around here. I want to see price kind of break out with a little bit more strength and a bit more kind of distance before I do start trading stops. I don't want to trail them too early. That's kind of the worst thing to do. Trail stops too early, get stopped out, and then you're like, yeah, duh, it was way too early. Because you don't want to trail stop just because you want to reduce risk, you know, because then you're kind of not really trading the market. You want to trail stops with the intention that, okay, I'm seeing more evidence that price is going in my favor, we're creating more structure. It actually makes sense to trail stops based on the chart you're trading rather than just your emotional want to reduce risk and not take like a full loss. So I want to see more evidence that we are breaking higher. Then I will kind of move stops to this area, and then hopefully this area, and then hopefully break even completely. But we're still a long way away from that. So yeah, those are the two positions I'm in currently, and hopefully we can pick up some momentum for both of them. We'll see how they both get on. There's a few other pairs I'm eyeing up. Like I said, USD pairs that look somewhat good, but I'm not quite sold on the DXY just yet. Aussie yen, I will take a look at next. Yen pairs have been quite interesting. I've been looking to short them, but have not been giving me much of an opportunity to short them. So I've been quite watchful of it, and yeah, I might have to rethink my bias with them. But we'll go take a look at Aussie yen. Oh wow, G just gave money, but I marked the trade, but it was 5 minutes after my trading window. Damn. I mean, again, that's a part of the the package of trading, because you're going to have your windows where most of your kind of volume is, and most of your opportunities will be. Of course, there will be some opportunities that lie outside of that, but if you're especially quite strict with your window, those opportunities are not for you. I think on average they're probably not going to be good opportunities either. You create your window where majority of the good positions do form, and that's kind of where you want to focus your attention. But of course, there will be opportunities outside that window. Sometimes there's opportunities, when I'm sleeping, and there's some nice entries which I miss, especially with like the Aussie and New Zealand pairs. I sometimes do miss some entries on those. Yeah, that is true as well. That tension could give some upside to oil. Yeah, that's what data is always king. Each edge data leads to a way to maximize your break. Yeah, of course. It's all about taking those small kind of incremental steps. GJ blessed me 2 to 3 trades, 15, 20 RR trades. So yen is being awesome. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why yen is one of my favorite currency pairs to trade as well. Pound yen is my favorite pair to trade, because again, it gives you kind of more for your buck. I could take the same trade on like Aussie Swiss and take the same trade in pound yen. Not only will pound yen most likely hit my targets quicker, but it will give me more, how do I say it? it will achieve 200 pips probably quicker than Aussie CHF achieves 100. So it will be quicker. It will give you more pips as well. I think the price action is a bit cleaner as well. But yeah, pound yen is one of my favorite pairs to trade. Yeah, then GU. Yeah, those are my two favorite pairs actually. Pound yen and GU, both my favorite pairs. Okay, so what I was gonna say, Aussie yen. Excuse me. So Aussie yen, yeah, Aussie yen looking really bullish. So the plan coming to the week was actually looking to short the pair. I would still argue that this is looking really corrective, so I'm not quite convinced with the buys just yet. Yeah, I'm not quite convinced. If this was a bit more aggressive, then maybe we had like a big V-shaped pattern here, and at that point, it probably will continue. But yeah, we are seeing quite a lot of upside here. I was expecting price to kind of pull back, respect some resistance, and continue selling off. That doesn't seem to be part of Aussie yen's plans right now. Same with the other yen pairs as well. But the bigger move, I've always been bullish for Aussie yen, and the reason for that is because of the structure on the daily chart. I was just kind of hoping for a deeper pullback, really. We've had some nice lower lows and lower highs here. Then things start to shift after this big bearish move. We created a high, a higher low, and then a new higher high. So the plan has been trying to find the next higher low to then hopefully participate in the next swing to the upside. So that's still very much the plan longer term. But I was kind of hoping for a deeper pullback. I was kind of hoping for us to kind of pull back into this lovely range. We spent quite a few days here, eventually to break to the upside. It's kind of hope to see us nestle in that area, maybe consolidate a little bit, and then be on our way. But maybe we're already on our way. Who knows? What I can say is, though, I'm not really seeing a good opportunity to take a buy. So that's the biggest question to ask. Is there a good buy at the moment? I'm not really seeing one, especially now anyway. With us kind of already kind of well into the groove of this bullish move here. So it would be really nice to see Aussie yen have one more sell. Not because I'm looking to sell it, but if you can come back down, I think this could present some really nice buy opportunities. Because as a whole, this move here looks really corrective. Oh, wrong tool. This move here looks really corrective, and it just looks like a big kind of flag pattern, really. And there could be some very nice buys at this low here. So I quite like the buys long term for Aussie yen. We're looking pretty bullish now. There might still be a sell opportunity to push down. This is technically our last lower highs here. Maybe price is still going to form another one. I was expecting it to be in and around this area. Maybe it's slightly a deeper pullback before we do sell off. But yeah, I wouldn't be looking to buy. It's too late for a buy, as I would suggest. There could still be some sells. I'll probably keep an eye on that trend line, see how we react. But again, it's up to the market to invite us into the trade. If this momentum just keeps up and we keep pushing to the upside, there's probably no opportunity for us to take a trade. But if we can start to see some rejection, wicks start to form, maybe price start to slow down, maybe consolidate, then we start to see some nice bearish momentum come into the market, then yeah, there could be some very nice shorts to take. At the moment, just not seeing any evidence of that happening. So again, just keeping a watchful eye of the market, letting the market kind of give us the sign of what it wants to do next. Especially as a trader, you want to be flexible. Yes, you want to have a bias and a thesis, an expectation, but let the market kind of validate that expectation rather than just being, okay, I'm short bias, so let me just sell. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any evidence of that happening yet. I would say keep an eye in this area. If we get there, I think that's a great place to buy, around 94.6 to 94. There could be some shorts coming up, but let's see if the price action, backs that up or not. But even if it doesn't happen, I don't really see a good buy anyway. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie yen. Okay. Yeah, GJ is my favorite, then GU as well. But to be honest, I try not to because GJ is my favorite, but again, as a swing trade, it's not like, okay, I trade GJ every week. I don't. Last trade I took was probably a few months ago on GJ. I'm always focusing on the opportunity rather than the pair, especially in my situation where I look for swings in the market. I trade a wide range of markets, majors, minors, gold and silver, US 30 as well. So there's a wide range of markets for me to look at. So I'm always looking to try and find the best opportunity available to me. And it's not like GJ will always give me the best opportunity. It's just that when GJ does give me a good opportunity, I'm very much eager to trade it because it's a market that does perform well for me. But if there's a good opportunity in Aussie Swiss, GJ is not looking quite good. I'm going to take Aussie Swiss. Pound seed chef, bow hunting, but mint on the low time. Okay, interesting. Then GJ, then and GU, and then EU's my least favorite. Okay. Only trade them for, otherwise I miss too many trades. Yeah, I can imagine, especially on the 1 minute chart. Pound seed chef's an interesting one. I don't really know many people who trade pound seed chef in the low time frames. I know people who trade dollar seed chef on the lower time frames, but not many who trade pound seed chef. Bashi, how long take you to become consistently profitable? About 3 years. Yeah, about the 3 year mark. Yusuf, all right, cheers. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Of course, I'll post my analysis on the weekend, so keep an eye for that as well. But of course, the streams continue on next week, so hope to see you there, Yusuf. Hey, appreciate it, Bashi. Drop a like if you guys are enjoying the stream. It does really help out. And of course, subscribe, hit the bell, share it with your friends as well. Bashi, see it, chef. Because they know I guess it hard. Yeah, I mean, you're probably one of the very few people who probably back pound seed chef like that. I mean, I trade pound seed chef as well, but again, it's not a pair that I drift towards a lot of the time. If there's a good opportunity, I'm there for it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, a lot of people kind of avoid seed chef pairs as well. They can be a bit choppy sometimes, but they have their moments. Higher time frames, I think, might be even more choppier. But yeah, I mean, I'm trading a seed chef pair right now. So yeah. But yeah, don't know many people who trade pound seed chef in the low time frames. What's up, CS Integrated? Hope you are doing well. Okay, guys, we're going to have another stab at showcasing the platform we've been working on. This time, I'm not going to remove my my screen because apparently that does remove my mic as well. Who knew? So I'm going to quickly go over it. I did go over it earlier, but I was muted, unfortunately. So we're going to have another stab at it, but we'll be seeing a lot more of the platform in the future. But something we've been working on under Zenthrix AI is a project we've been working on, which kind of encompasses a lot of AI technology, helping traders kind of develop their own automated systems, developing their own indicators, their own strategies, using AI intelligence, and we're working on a lot of different things under that umbrella. But one of the things we're working on is this perps trading platform, which allows you to connect your crypto wallet, any Solana, any Ethereum wallet, straight to the platform and begin trading straight away. The real benefits of this, there's no real restrictions like you get with some other big brokers like Binance. There's no restrictions. You can begin trading straight away, connect your wallet, withdraw your profit straight away as well. There's no delay in terms of kind of waiting 48 hours for your broker to okay everything. You can just withdraw straight away. And of course, you can test it out as well. We do have a test net, which you can connect to your wallet and then click on the test net section, which will allow you to request test USDC, which allows you to trade the platform as you normally would, but of course in a demo environment. And you can just get a feel for the platform, test it out before you do go live and connect your wallet to your live wallet to the platform. But it's just it's another platform which, similar to TradingView, it's a chart powered by TradingView. You got your technical analysis on the left, a normal chart as well. At the moment, we only have crypto markets, but in the future, FX markets will be there, indices will be there, other markets will be there as well. And one of the cool features is that you've got the AI version of me on the chart there as well, Miko AI in the top left corner. If you click that, you will be able to get analysis from the AI, and it will give you updates in terms of the market conditions, sentiments. It will give you analysis based on different indicators, and it will give you kind of general areas of support and resistance, which you can look at and potentially speed up your analysis. Again, if you're a confident trader with a plan of action, you can just look at these levels and it will give you some ideas. Or if you're a bit of a newbie and you kind of just want someone to hold your hand a little bit, this can provide you some areas to look at, support, resistance. As you can see, different prices. It will give you some information about the market and potentially what the next move could be as well. So keep an eye on that. There's at the moment the AI kind of only gives you information for the bigger markets. There's not a lot of data for the smaller markets, but BTC, Ethereum, Dogecoin, the bigger cryptocurrencies, you can use the AI intelligence to get more information on support and resistance levels. You can get a feel for the platform, trade it around. Again, like I said, you can connect your wallet, any Solana, any Ethereum wallet, you can connect it straight away. Any wallets supporting these, you can connect straight away. And if you don't have a wallet, you can connect with your email, so you can log in with an email and trade through that as well if you don't have a wallet. So yeah, guys, keep an eye on it. I'll probably stick the URL in the chat so you can guys take a look. But dx.zenthrix.ai, you can whack it into your URL and you can have a good feel for the platform. So keep an eye on that, guys, and hopefully you heard that one, because it would be a bit of a pain to do that 3 times. But again, we'll be talking a lot more about that platform in the coming days. But yeah, hopefully you did hear that. Okay, where were we? Cease Integrated, I did say hi to you, didn't I? If not, hi, hope you are doing good. Danny, morning. Hope you're well. You said 3 years. Was this on your own, or did someone help you? A bit of both, to be honest. My dad did introduce me into trading, so he was kind of there through a lot of the first year or two. But then I did quite a lot of work by myself as well, especially when I went off to university. So a bit of both. Gold, BTC. Is that gold against BTC or gold and BTC? I'm confused there. Morning, Malik. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. What is up? What is up? Cease Integrated inside the DXY. Sure, we can take a look at that. It seems to be neutral. Ranging might break up or break down. I'm getting the same vibe as well. I'm very much kind of sitting back, kind of observing DXY. I'm still looking for the buy opportunity, so that is still very much my plan of action. But yeah, I'm being a bit careful because, of course, we had this big pullback. Nothing's necessarily changed in terms of the market structure. We've still got this low, high, low, high. So the plan is, can we find the next high low to find some buys to trade it back into the highs, so on and so forth. That's still been the plan, excuse me, since the start of the week. Of course, we just had a deeper correction here, which might look a little bit spooky, but if I can start to see price consolidate, slow down, maybe throw some wicks into this area, give me a strong shift of momentum. I quite like the buys here for dollar, and of course the sells for euro, perhaps the sells for pound USD as well, Aussie dollar potentially. So I still do like, and potentially buys in dollar Swiss as well. Haven't spoke too much about that market, but I think dollar CHF buys look pretty good as well. I mean, this one's kind of respecting prior resistance turn support. I know it's kind of consolidating, but I can see a world where we kind of mess around for a little bit, then eventually see the momentum kick in if the DXY can fix up a little bit, and then hopefully we can get a nice continuation there. So I'm still bullish. Excuse me, still bullish on the dollar, but yeah, no green light yet. That's the key thing, no green light. Any decent free trading journals that can link to broker? The best one I know that's free is MyFXBook. There's not a lot of good free ones, but I would say the best one is MyFXBook, because that gives you a bunch of data. You can connect pretty easily, a lot of different brokers to select from. It gives you a bunch of data and equity curve, all of that information. So yeah, MyFXBook by far the best that I know of anyway. You say one more time, I can pitch it for you. I appreciate it, Bashi. DXY sticky, to be honest. I was still bullish NFP, so now I'm stuck back in neutral and nuclear catalyst. Okay. Ceasing get used to your currently good sculpt for now. I haven't actually looked too much at dollar yen. But yeah, the thing is, I can also see some intraday short opportunities on the DXY as well. I'm looking purely from like a bigger swing bias, something like that. But from an intraday level, we've had a really nice breakout of this area. I would argue in a lower time frame that if we can revisit this, that might be a nice area to keep an eye out for some shorts for another push down. So I can see a world where that happens as well. It really does depend on what you're looking for and what time frames you're working on, how big of a move you're looking for, how long you're looking to hold your trades. Because if I was a bit more intraday, I'd probably be focusing a lot more on the short opportunity rather than the longs here. That's kind of because of the time frames I'm looking on them and what I'm doing my analysis based upon. But if I was like an hourly, focusing on the hourly chart or even lower, I'd probably be focusing more so on this momentum and trying to find continuations of that. So I can see some ideas, some short ideas there for DXY, and I can also see some long ideas as well, which again, just a big contradiction, but it's the truth. I think we can see some nice sells there. Equally, if things shape up well, I think we can find some nice buys as well. Dollar yen, I haven't looked at yet. I haven't actually gone through a few of the yen pairs. I've taken a look at GJ. Have I looked at pound yen? I don't think I have looked at pound yen. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to look at pound yen, but I haven't done that yet. So I'll go take a look at pound yen afterwards. I completely forgot about that. Dollar yen looks like it's shaping up for a buy. Dollar yen looks like it's shaping up for a buy. Really corrective in this area. And I do feel like price is eventually going to get ready for a bit of a push higher here. I was actually hoping we can come a little bit lower into this area, but unfortunately, I'm not too sure that's the case, especially with all of these aggressive wicks to the downside. That's kind of telling me that, okay, support is being found here. And especially with how corrective we're looking, I think if we can see price really break through this counter trend line well, that's probably the green light to get dollar yen moving. But the way I'm looking at dollar yen right now, we have a very slow uptrend. Market is slowly pushing to the upside. We have these higher highs and higher lows at play. Massive kind of higher low there, new higher high. It looks to me that price is about to form another one before continuing. So I'm basically looking at this slow uptrend continuing back to highs at some point. I'm not convinced about the longevity of this uptrend. I do feel like we are likely to form another low high soon. I'm looking at kind of connecting the dots here. I do think eventually we're going to get something like that, but that's something we can discuss in about a couple of weeks' time, maybe when we're trading more so towards those areas. So I'm not convinced long term, but for now, as in for today and next week, pretty much, I think the buys are the best move, especially if we can stay above this low here. Start breaking through that, I think buys could look good, but I probably would wait for a pretty big pullback into an area like this before discussing some buys again. But coming into the week, I said keep an eye on 146 area. I said that could be a nice buy. It would be nice if you could still end up there, really nice and corrective, and then see the shift. And then in terms of targets, a push back here, then maybe a push back there. First target, second target. So dollar yen, I'm still pretty bullish on. I think this might rely on yen being weak rather than necessarily than USD being quite strong. I think if I take a quick look at the yen basket, yeah, the yen basket is just plummeting right now. It's picked up some momentum this morning here, and I wonder, is that us now getting ready to really drop? Possibly back to the lows here. If that's the case, if the yen basket is going to drop, well, that should mean dollar yen is likely to rally. We're not necessarily seeing a strong USD right now, but the yen is definitely weak against many currencies, and looks like it's weak against dollar as well. So maybe we do just break out here and continue. Maybe we don't get the bigger pullback here. But yeah, in terms of targets, target 1, 149, target 2, 150, 775. Excuse me. Okay, where was I? Had the edge wonk. Yeah, edge wonk's pretty good. I've used that before. It was like 200 quid, but I had discount, but I'd rather use that money elsewhere for a journal. Yeah, true. It is quite expensive. It is quite expensive. And I suppose a platform like Edgewonk, unless you're going to be really kind of in tune with all the minor metrics of your trading, if you want just like the general kind of win rate, risk to reward, your monthly kind of performance, your equity curve, maybe a few other metrics here and there, which are the kind of the essentials you need. Anything else is a bit more extra if you're really kind of data orientated, which I'm not that much data orientated myself. Of course, the basic things I keep tracks of, but yeah, there's a lot of data that Edgewonk does provide. So if you're really data kind of driven, I think Edgewonk's good, and it's a bit more on the expensive side, but it does give a lot of information. There's other similar journals to that nature as well. But yeah, I think MyFX book's the best. It gives you quite a lot of data as well, and it's free. There's probably some others you can find. I haven't done too much research, to be honest, but MyFX book's the only one I know. Gold waterfall incoming. Expect some downside in gold. USD CAD shorts on the 4 hour now. Okay, we're gonna have a look at that as well. Varon, not too sure what that means. But gold against euro, gold against pound. Okay, in some chart it shows that price is broken weekly range. Some chart is still in the range. Well, of course, yeah, it's gold. You're looking at gold against different currencies, so there's going to be different. There's going to be different. The charts are going to look different. You know, you got gold against dollar, gold against euro, gold against pound. You know, euro, pound, and dollar are not the same thing. If you look at the chart, euro against the dollar, euro against the pound, they're all showing you different situations. So yeah, they're going to look different. They're going to look different. I personally don't really look at gold against euro, gold against pound. I just focus on gold against the dollar, really. Yeah, it's the more kind of liquid market, really. And again, if you want me to take a look at it, I can, but I'll just focus on gold against the dollar. But yeah, they will look different because it's different currencies. Wow, what's the yen thing? Yeah, the yen basket is similar to the DXY, really. It's just the yen against other major currencies. So if you type JPY and then basket, again, I don't know how accurate it is, but I've been using it for a few months, and it's performed pretty well. It gives me a good indication of what the yen is doing against pretty much all the other yen-related pairs. But yeah, essentially the yen against the Aussie, against the CAD, against pound, against euro, against USD. And it's just showing you the relative strength for yen against all of those other currencies. I'm not sure about the weighting. I think it's all equal. I know for the DXY, there's different weighting, like euro is the highest, then pound. I think in this situation, they're all kind of equal. But it's essentially kind of like what the DXY is giving you just for the yen. Yeah, it's a good kind of chart to look at to show you what the yen is doing against other currencies. If the yen basket is heading down, then the other yen pairs are likely to be heading up, and vice versa. And in terms of the correlation, I would say it's pretty good, really. They're very inversely correlated. So yeah, I do recommend it. If you do trade yen pairs, I think it's a good thing to look at, especially if you trade multiple yen pairs. But yeah, it's a good kind of chart to look at. It gives you quite a lot of information what the yen is doing. But yeah, with the yen in this downtrend here, and doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. With this likely to continue going lower, that probably does keep us bullish on pound yen. It keeps us bullish on dollar yen. It keeps us bullish on Aussie yen, CAD yen, you name it yen. They're all kind of still pushing up. So I kind of keep an eye on that in terms of the general situation of the yen, which is at the moment looking pretty weak. I would take a look at pound yen because I'm pretty sure someone requested that ages ago and I completely forgot about it. So we'll take a look at that one. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. I'll take a look at gold as well. Dollar CAD for Raphael. Just signed up to the MyFX book now. Just linking my account, no problem. Yeah, it's I do recommend it. It's actually where I look at most of my news as well. I use the economic calendar there as well. The reason I trade EUG, GGN, CHF because of cost correlation on CHF. Yeah, okay, makes sense. They have currency and they use DXY, so those links to each other. Yeah, okay, I can see that makes sense. No problem. Actually happy to help. Is the yen basket same as the JXY? No. The JXY is actually more so like the DXY, because I think with the JXY, there's actually weighting in that one. You can see it's a lot more gappy. With the yen basket, it's kind of like grouping all the yen pairs together, so it kind of moves like an FX pair. This one not as much, but it's similar. You're basically looking at the relative strength for the yen as well, so you can look at this one in the same light. But I find that the yen basket kind of really mirrors what the yen pairs are doing a little bit better than this. Like for example here, it's like a really corrective weird move here, which implies that the yen has been a bit weaker and other currencies have been stronger, which is true. But if you compare the price action here and then compare it with the yen basket, I feel like the yen basket has really shown me what the yen pairs are doing a lot better. You know, that's a really clear downtrend. Now, if I go through all of the yen pairs, you can see a really clear uptrend there. Euro yen, pretty clear uptrend there as well. Very clear uptrend. Dollar yen, not so much, been quite corrective. USD's been weak too, so it's been a bit of contradiction, but a nicer uptrend there. New Zealand yen, lovely uptrend there as well. So I feel like the yen basket kind of shows me the price action a bit better, but I think that's a bit more my preference really. They're both giving you similar information in terms of what the yen is doing, but I just focus on the yen basket. I've been using it probably for about 6 months now, so it's fairly new to me as well, but it gives me good information, and yeah, I could prefer it to the JXY. The gaps I don't like really. Yeah, my FX book isn't bad. Yeah, it's decent. Gives you all we need, to be honest. Thanks for that shout. No problem. Gives like share the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, that goes for everyone. Check it out. It's a really good. I've been using it since the dawn of time, really, since I first started trading. Yeah, it's a great place to put your account. It gives you your metrics, a lot of information which you don't even, half of it you probably don't even use, but it'll give you a lot of information for free. And there's a lot of other things you can do with my FX book as well. I use the economic calendar most of the time. But yeah, it's definitely a nice place to check out, and it's free as well. Anyway, GJ, let's get through that. Then dollar CAD and gold was requested as well. GBP, JPY. So yeah, GJ, another pair which coming into the week I was pretty bearish on. I was looking to actually try and find some shorts, but after the pound news we had yesterday, that's kind of skewed things up. It gave us this really strong reaction. Now price is still pushing hard after that, of course, helped by the yen being weak as well. So I have to kind of take a step back here. The plan coming into the week with some shorts off this. You know, that's clearly not happening right now. So going forward with pound yen, if we are going to be bullish, well, I do need price to clear resistance here. Because when price was trading here and just banging its head on resistance, the plan at the time was, okay, if the yen is going to break to the upside, then I'll be well and truly bullish for the pair, waiting for the break of this, and then that will give me the green light for a push all the way to 207. So basically what Euro Yen did, Euro Yen was kind of in a similar situation. That one broke through resistance really aggressively. And since we've got the break of that level, I've been looking for a push all the way back to the high here. So that's been the plan of Euro Yen. And I kind of expected Pound Yen just to follow suit, really. Give us the break of resistance as well and get us back to that level as well eventually. But no, we actually got this reaction, a really bearish move. So at that point, I was like, okay, price is not breaking resistance here. At this point, we might turn around and reverse. So that's why I've been pretty bearish with this one. But coming into the week, we have seen a bit of a pullback, but I didn't really see much of a reaction on the 4-hour chart. Is where I based my entries. There was no sign of any development there, so I've kind of stayed back. And then, of course, with the pound news and then yen still being weak, we're still pushing up pretty hard. I mean, we could still put a lower high in. We technically haven't really broken through structure. This is the high that gave us the sell, technically speaking. We could put a lower high here and then continue, but I'm not quite convinced right now. And yeah, if price is going to be bullish, then like I said, I need us to break through this area first. If we do that, then that gives me the opportunity for a really big swing all the way back to 207. I probably won't take advantage of the whole swing, but at least it makes things a lot simpler for me. I like it when price breaks level and there's a pretty clear move to the next level. Like for this situation, we had this high, a pretty clean move back down, not a lot of resistance in our way. There's a pretty good chance we do find ourselves back at 207. Same situation occurred for Euro Yen, had such an aggressive move down. Once price broke through this level, there's a pretty clear path on the way back to resistance there. And we're about 3/4 of the way there. So Euro Yen, I still favor us to eventually get there. We're not quite done yet. Pound Yen, I expect to join the party at some point in time. Maybe if this bullish move does continue, maybe we get it sooner rather than later. But that's kind of what I'm waiting for the buys. For the sells, as I said, I'm kind of still keeping an eye out. But since we've broken through this area, I'm not too sure we're going to get them. So I'm in a situation right now with Pound Yen where I'm kind of sitting back, waiting for a bit more information before doing anything. And again, that's a lot of trading, really. You have a bias. You kind of wait for the bias to set up. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you have to change your bias and you go from there. I mean, that's kind of what's happened with Pound Aussie. I've been pretty bearish with this one. I've been waiting for price to break resistance. I was looking for price to break resistance for the past couple of weeks, but it hasn't respected support very well. Hence why I've hopped into a buy position and I'm seeing if I can ride it back to highs. Same situation with Pound Yen. I've been looking for price to break resistance here, but it never did. It broke down. So then I shifted to bearish, but now I'm kind of being a bit neutral again. And then maybe if we break the highs, I shift back to bullish. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Pound Yen. And a lot of the yen pairs have done the exact same thing. Big sales last week off the back of NFP. And yeah, since then they've all been pretty bullish. Some more than others. I knew about the site, but never knew it had a free journal. Oh, okay. I wasted 200 Edgewonk. That was another 50k account. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Edgewonk will give you a bit more information than my FX book, but again, it depends what you need it for. If you just need the essentials, and my FX book will give you the essentials and more. But if you just need the essentials, then yeah, my FX book is all you need. If you're very kind of data driven and you're trying to find every single little metric about your trading, Edgewonk can provide that. Is it worth the amount you need to pay? I wish they had a free trial. I don't know if they have a free trial or not. Last time I checked, they didn't have a free trial. Edgewonk should have a free trial, so you can kind of see what you're getting into. Because for some people, I can imagine, you know, that's their dream, all those metrics and all the data. Some people, that's probably like way too much information. I think for the average trader, it probably is. Oil, okay, we can take a look at oil. I'll go through dollar CAD first because Raphael did mention that a while ago. We'll take a look at dollar CAD first, and I'll go through gold, and I'll take a look at oil for MBK, no problem. That 199.5 level looks interesting. I agree. Wait and see what we can do at that level. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, they do a 14 days refund. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay, that's helpful. I didn't know if they did that at the time when I bought it. Maybe they did. Maybe I just didn't see it. Oh, you know the owner. That would be handy. Yeah, I mean when I got it, there was a discount at the time. I'm pretty sure. Can't remember what the discount was, but I'm pretty sure I picked up a discount at the time. But there's many kind of software journals out there. A lot of them, of course, are paid. Okay, so let's take a look at dollar CAD. Then we'll go through gold and oil. So dollar CAD, another USD pair, which coming to the week again, pretty bullish, looking for some buys. We cleared some lovely resistance last week. I believe, was that last week, 29th? I think that was last week, or maybe the week before. Cleared resistance very well, so the plan really was just looking for a pullback, a retest of this for a continuation. Because the way I view dollar CAD really is that we've had a lovely bearish trend here. We've started to consolidate, and now potentially prices getting ready to reverse, potentially. So what I didn't want to see happen was price break back inside the range. That's kind of skewed things up a little bit. Not that we can't break inside then break back outside again. That could happen. But a nice kind of trade idea would just be a successful break and retest of the high of the range, get some stops below, and then be on our way. That doesn't look like that's happening at the moment. So not that dollar CAD can't still see some upside, but we do have resistance above us, which at the moment we're actually respecting pretty well as resistance at the moment. And I would argue that, especially in a lower chart, maybe like an hourly or a 30-minute chart, if we do revisit that area and start to respect it well, I think that's a nice place for a short. Potentially a nice double top, looking for the next lower high. And some targets back at the low makes a lot of sense to me. So from an intraday standpoint, I think shorts look pretty good. You've got initially a strong impulse there, bit of a correction, another push down, maybe not so strong, but we are still seeing lower lows and lower highs. I think for the shorts for now make a lot of sense, especially given the position where we're trading. If we do reverse and see price break back above, okay, the buys look a little bit more interesting now, and maybe something like this could unfold in the next few days. But again, we need to wait for that to happen for me to start to talk more about that. That's just kind of wishful thinking at this moment in time. So yeah, dollar CAD, I think shorts look good now. I probably wouldn't take the short now. I would suggest wait for us to push back into resistance, especially that would give you a better risk to reward, because we are looking kind of a little bit flat right now. So I wouldn't want to be shorting. If I'm going to put a stop loss, it would be above the high. So ideally that would be nice. Maybe if price does close below, that could be a nice signal to short on the breakout. I think this is still probably the better option. Wait for price to retest the level, reconfirm that as resistance, then using that to your advantage. And then that way you can maximize your risk reward a little bit better as well. But yeah, dollar CAD, I can see some more downside. How's DXY doing? Is it still looking kind of a little bit. I mean, I would say DXY is still kind of not really trading at any real significant area right now. Maybe there's some support around here. But in terms of the more intermediate price action, these are the two areas which I'll keep an eye on. Brief kind of pause here, really strong move to the upside, brief pause there, strong move to the downside. Those are the two areas which I'd focus on. Being extroverted can help. Yeah, I can tell, Bashi. I can tell. Okay, so let me go through oil. If I've missed out a pair, let me know. If someone said a pair and I've completely missed it, just let me know in the chat. Anyway, so oil, last time we checked, still trading at support. Is that still the case? Yes, it is. And we did close pretty strongly. So, yeah, not too bad, not too shabby there. I suggested earlier if we can kind of pick up some momentum. I do like the close there. It's actually not such a bad entry signal on second thought. We did actually close pretty nice here. Entering off the back of that, stops underneath the low here. Kind of gives you a nice situation because you're right at the lows. This is essentially where price has been ranging. And it gives you an opportunity to buy right at the lows, have a pretty safe stop loss, while still maximizing your risk reward back into highs. And maybe things go very well, you might see a situation where oil does really rally. If I expand to like the daily chart, for the most part, we have been putting in these lower highs. So I do wonder if we could see another one. But yeah, I would argue that price is still coming into some healthy areas of support. This is kind of a nice area of demand. We consolidated here for a few days before a really healthy breakout to the upside. It looks like price can potentially do that again. So yeah, I wouldn't bank on anything major happening for oil, but I would say that this is overall a very nice place for a buy. You're positioned well right at the low of the range, which is where you want to be. When you are trading a ranging market, the best place is right at the low or right at the high. Effectively, you want to be the lowest buyer or the highest seller. Of course, easier said than done, but that's kind of where you're going to be the best positioned to take advantage of the range. And that's kind of the situation you got here, right at the low. I think it's an effective place for a buy. And if price does break to the downside, you can kind of confidently say that, okay, structure's breaking, the support's not holding anymore, the range is not holding anymore, we are going to break lower. So it's not a situation where you get stopped out and you're kind of like, is this still bullish? You can kind of confidently say that, okay, you're probably not going to push higher anymore, so I can probably flip my bias around and start entertaining the sell ideas. So yeah, oil I think is a great place for a buy actually. I didn't trade oil personally, but if I did, I think this is a smart place for a buy. And you got a decent risk reward as well. If I can get a trade like that back to highs, so 1 to 3.5, even a push to this area, if you're not looking for a home run, still a 1 to 1.53 there. I think anything above a 1 to 1 is decent. And this way, you're not even looking too much. You're barely even halfway into the range. You can be pretty confident with that move there. And there you can be looking at a very big move. And if you're looking for the home run, 1 to 7 potentially. So yeah, I quite like the buys here for oil. As long as we can hold 64, I think we're in business. Of course not, Bashi. That's what the comment section is for. You can chat away as long as you've been respectful in the comments, not spamming the chat with random weird stuff. You're good to go. Exactly, help the stream algo as well. We need that. No problem, MBK. Happy to help. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you are enjoying the stream, it does really help out. Show some love. Hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, and of course, hit the bell too so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you are new to the stream, I do stream every weekday, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So pop in whenever you're free, come chat with us. We go through a bunch of markets, FX, pretty much any market you guys request, as long as it's not too weird. We can take a look at it. In terms of the pairs that I trade, pretty much all FX, major and minors, gold, silver, and US 30. So those are the markets that I'm going to look at my personal time. But on the stream, whatever you're kind of looking at, and of course, whatever time frames you're looking at as well. Of course, I spend most of my time on like the 4-hour chart, the daily chart, and that's basically where I do most of my analysis. But if you do want me to look a bit more intraday, if you want me to drop even to the 1-minute chart, let me know as well. Or if you want me to drop scale to the monthly chart, I can take a look at it as well. So don't be shy. I appreciate it, Bashi. Like and share, subscribe. Very much appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Of course, drop it in the chat. I know there's a few people here just lurking around in the background. But again, I don't bite. And even if I did, it's going to be very difficult to bite you through a screen as well. So you're pretty safe. Lenny, Pound USD is on the third touch of the trend line. I think I know the trend line you're referring to. We can take a look at that. Telling you trade 1 minute. The thing is, Nick's actually known me for quite a while, so he would be pretty shocked if you told him that I trade 1 minute. Because I think I've been streaming with Nick maybe for up to almost almost 3 years now, maybe. Definitely more than 2. It's probably come up to 3. So Nick's always known me trading on like the 4-hour chart. So if you're telling 1 minute, he'd be like, "What's going on there? Is Miko okay?" Probably not if I'm doing that. Anyway, let's take a look at pound USD. I know exactly the trend line you're talking about. I think I do anyway. This one here. Yeah, we are looking like we're testing that trend line. So yeah, this is it's an interesting area for pound USD. We could very much see price respect this area and turn around, 100%. Again, the key thing we're looking for is price action to invite us into the market. We need to see rejection, momentum shift. This is how I trade to find my entries. I'm not the type to just get in before we've got the sign. Again, in terms of risk reward, that's probably the more effective way to do it. Get in before momentums happen, before the moves kind of really developed. That way you can kind of really maximize your risk reward. But then again, you probably take more losses because things are not quite ready yet. I'd rather wait for things to really be ready before jumping into the trade. Maybe it gives you bigger stop losses. Sometimes you get into the market a little bit later, but it will help in terms of the win rate. Really, it'll give you more kind of a safer option to get into the market because you can kind of be assured that okay, momentum is likely to continue in your favor. So yeah, in this situation with pound USD, yes, we're testing the trend line. Yes, we're starting to see some rejection, but very, very early. And right now, we're kind of lacking momentum. I think the markets are just quite flat right now. I think in general, we're not seeing much movement. Pound USD looks quite flat. Euro's not really seeing too much. So I think we'll kind of just stale. It is Friday, which is not normally a good excuse because Friday sometimes can be some big days, even without news really. But as the time goes on, of course, we've got New York session in the afternoon. Maybe things pick up then. Then, of course, maybe since like 5, 6 p.m., things will start to die down a little bit. But yeah, in a nice place, but not quite ready to be shorted just yet. Oh well, to be honest, he's at great exposure. Even James grew a lot from joining A1. Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Nick, of course, has got a massive trading channel. I'm pretty sure Nick started his channel, I think, a year before me, and Nick caught the boom from COVID because a lot of people started getting into trading around COVID because everyone was like, okay, how can I make money, from my computer without potentially a job, a full-time employment. And trading got a huge boom during COVID. And I think Nick kind of started his channel maybe like a year before that. So Nick grew massively when that happened. And then I think a year after is when I started my channel. Somewhere around then anyway. So yeah, Nick's a massive channel. So yeah, he's done a lot of people, a lot of good kind of with the streams, kind of inviting people on and getting them to kind of share their opinion, share their analysis with his community. So yeah, and I've been streaming for Nick for quite a while now. I spoke to Nick and said you're welcome to come back and had some good stuff. Yeah, I mean he's pretty generous with that. Okay. Yeah. From what I've seen, everyone pretty much is higher time frame. Yeah, actually, that is true. Yeah, I haven't actually seen many people like talk about like the 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart on Nick's stream, I must say. I think the lowest I see is maybe Marco on the hourly chart, which is surprising. I didn't really think about that too much. I think maybe Mark on the hourly might be the lowest we go there. But it would be good to have someone with who looks at low time frames because that provides a different dynamic to the stream. Because there'll be different things to talk about naturally, and of course the lower time frames I think are more popular than the higher time frames. especially in like the YouTube space, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. Nick's a great person. He's a good guy. Only market goes hourly. Yeah. Use 15.5. Yeah. I actually haven't seen people on Nick's stream talk about the fifth. Maybe the 15s come up a little bit, but not consistently. So I think it'll be a good dynamic to have. Do you guys know each other before streaming? No. Nick reached out to me. Nick reached out to me to be a guest on the channel. I was actually started streaming before Nick, and then he reached out to me to stream with him, and then he started to ask more people, and then it kind of grew from there. Yeah, hourly, daily also can do. Yeah, I mean it is preference, but I think it would be a good dynamic to do lower time frames because I don't think anyone does really. I didn't even actually think about that, but I think that would be a good dynamic for the stream because no one talks about lower time frames, which is interesting because that's all you see on social media. So yeah, I think that would be interesting to have on the stream. So going into exactly. Sometimes I see 15-minute mentioned, but not consistently. Yeah. But I think it's good. I think it's a good dynamic to have, to be honest, because it's neglected. But yeah, going into next week, I've got two positions I'm sitting on: long on pound Aussie and a long on Aussie CHF. This one both of them actually hopped into yesterday. I keep thinking I hopped into different days, but I didn't. So pound Aussie hopped into yesterday in a bit of drawdown at the moment, but took an entry there, stop loss there with targets back at the high of the range. All I'm looking for is just a bounce from the low and a push to the high. Simple as it gets, really. We'll see if that momentum can continue. Maybe if the price does start breaking back within the range, I might start to potentially close the trade early, because the idea of the trade is momentum has entered the market. I'm expecting momentum to continue. So if I'm seeing obvious signs of momentum not continuing, I don't mind exiting the trade and potentially looking for a re-entry once I can confirm momentum's back into the market again. Because all we're doing is respecting the low of the range, and if we respect it well, there's a good chance we move to the higher end of the range. So that's what I'm banking on. So I've entered with the momentum. At the moment, we've seen a lovely breakout, potentially the retest of that range to continue, which is kind of what I'm banking on. If price does close aggressively back in the range, I think I will close the trade early and just kind of wait for more evidence of us picking up momentum again. I don't mind kind of taking like a 0.5R loss to re-enter if things get good again, rather than sit in the trade where momentum is not quite there. And the other trade I'm in is Aussie CHF longs, which is looking a little bit better. Momentum is picking up, of course, just in a little bit of profit, but given the size of the stop loss, it's not much profit, to be honest. We're looking for a big push there, so this is not a trade I'm expecting to be done overnight. Potentially could be a couple of weeks, really. Hopefully momentum can pick up, because I'm expecting more aggressive momentum on the way up, but Aussie CHF can be a bit of a slow pair sometimes, so if this does really play out, it could take its time. But the plan with this trade hopefully is momentum can pick up. Looks like we're starting to really confirm resistance here is broken. So we did break, kind of came back for a retest, and now momentum's starting to pick up. So if this can continue, hopefully I'll be able to start trading my stop loss here. So remove it from the low to here, and then if it continues some more, start to trail, and then hopefully into a bit of profit as well. But still a long way to go for both ideas, both trades, and I probably will be holding them both into next week, unless maybe pound Aussie doesn't cooperate with that breakout if it does come back down. As for other pairs I'm interested in, like I said, USD pairs I'm keeping a close eye. Nothing quite there yet, still pretty flat. I'm still looking for shorts on the euro. I would like to see price kind of really test that area first before jumping in, but nothing quite there yet. Pound USD, same situation, kind of in a nice area already, but I need to see momentum kick in, so kind of stepping back until things look good there. Yen pair's not really looking great, to be honest. I was keeping an eye on pound yen, but I'm going to be backing away a little bit from that guy for now. Way too bullish for me to be shorting. Anything else? New Zealand CAD, no. Pound Aussie, we spoke about. I like quite a few of the other CHF pairs, but I'm not going to trade them until I can get Aussie CHF to risk-free. So there's no point about going into them, to be honest. Yeah, that's about it, to be honest. Yeah. Gold, silver, nah. Yeah, that's about it. Sidekick is okay. I sell pound USD now. Personally, I'd wait for a little bit more evidence, a bit more momentum to come into the market, a bit more rejection. I'm not seeing enough to justify a trade, but again, it's not like I'm the guru of justifying trades. You know, I like seeing a lot of momentum before I enter the market, so I know that kind of the likeliness of price to continue in my favor is quite high. So I would wait for price to kind of develop and really kind of give me that momentum to show that, okay, bears have kicked in. That's my signal to go to hop into the position, and not seeing anything of that nature just yet. So you can enter now. It's just going to be a lot more of an aggressive trade. But of course, the pros of that is that your entry and your stop loss will be fairly tight, which means, you know, this risk reward could be looking very good back to the low, possibly a 1 to 10 potentially. Whereas with me, it might be like a 1 to 3. So, yeah, there's pros and cons to both sides of the situation. But you could do, but like I said, I'd wait for a lot more rejection before hopping into that. So he started his channel before you, yeah, but you started streaming before him. Yeah, funny enough, because Nick did a lot of videos in terms of like educational videos, which I did as well. Yeah, I started streaming, I think probably good 6 months to a year before Nick actually. And the streaming kind of helped grow my channel. But Nick was already like huge before he started streaming. And then, yeah, he invited me to his streams, and the partnership blossomed. Yeah, of course. Different dynamic as well. Okay, not 6 years ago. No way. Start streaming 6 years. I can tell you now. Let me go to my first stream. Oh, damn. It's actually almost 6 years ago. I didn't know it was that long. What day was it? It was 13th of July, 2020. So, just over 5 years. So, yeah. Damn, 5 years. I thought it was like 4. Time goes quick, man. But yeah, that was during COVID, actually. Yeah, I thought I started the year after. To be fair, the format of the streams have changed quite a lot, because when I first started streaming, yeah, I was just kind of just showing the chart. I wasn't there or speaking really. It was just literally just me filming the chart and doing a bit of analysis here and there, to be honest. So there was no speaking or anything. So the streams have changed quite a lot. But yeah, it's been a while. Started April 24. Yeah, everyone starts when they start. But yeah, it's not a competition. Yeah, basically just sharing the screen. That was it, to be honest. I don't think there was any audio. Yeah, the audio came much later. But anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of this stream. I do stream from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Every weekday, so I will be live again Monday. So if you do want to see more of me, make sure you tune in then. I do post analysis on the weekend as well, kind of wrapping up this week, forecasting the next, kind of giving my watch list as well. So if you are interested to see what I'm looking at going into next week, make sure you turn on the post notifications, but I will post a video on Saturday, so look out for that. But like I said, next week I'll be back streaming again. Ladies and gentlemen, I do really hope you have enjoyed the stream and found it useful. If that's the case, drop a like before you do leave, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Thank you so much to everyone tuning in and all the kind messages and chat for myself. I do really appreciate that. So thank you to you guys as well. But guys, have a great day, have a great weekend, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Introducing Zenthrick's AI-powered trading signals service. Tired of second-guessing your trades? Zenthrick's AI scans the markets 24/7 with powerful, proven indicators built to give you clarity. You get 200+ signals every day on 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily charts. We cover Forex, crypto, commodities, indices, and stocks, so you're covered no matter what you trade. And the best part, you get all this delivered 3 ways, every day. Web alerts give you fast, clean access right from your dashboard. Telegram delivers real-time entries, confidence levels, sentiment, and trade duration. And email gives you the full breakdown, including 2 profit target levels and deep market analysis. Just hold $5 worth of ZTR. See what you can achieve with powerful AI trading intelligence by Zenthrick. Try it now. And join our Telegram channel.